Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is the new ERCI webinar, Accessible Indoor Navigation for Visually Impaired Rail Passengers. My name is Lutz Hübner, working for Berlin Partner, one of the members of the European Railway Clusters Initiative. This is our general agenda. We will have two interesting presentations. We will have a Q&A session, and we will have at the end some news from the ERCI network, ongoing projects, funding opportunities, and for sure, next webinars and events. Yeah, ERCI is the leading meta cluster of the railway sector, and we are together 18 innovation-driven clusters and their ecosystems, which are operating in 17 European countries. And clusters are tools of the EU and national, regional, industrial, and research and innovation policies. ERCI has been created in 2010, and from 2022, it is a legal entity under Belgian law. All the clusters have in total about a membership of 3,100 companies of the rail value chain. Most of them are small, medium-sized enterprises, and for sure also universities, research centers, education institutions, incubators, accelerators. We are operating in these blue marked countries here at the moment. And we are very active in supporting small and medium-sized enterprises. For instance, we discover for them new market opportunities. We support them in partner matchmaking, in research and development activities. We are enhancing their visibility on international level. We are discussing innovation topics due to our ERCI task forces and due to our ERCI webinar series, as we have it today. And our yearly highlight are the annual ERCI Innovation Awards. One example is the ERCI Task Force Green and Sustainable Mobility. Together with the industry, the aim of this task force is to further develop rail into the backbone of sustainable mobility solutions across Europe. Therefore, regularly a survey amongst our members takes place. And for sure, you are also invited to follow this survey and answer 3 or 4 simple questions regarding your status of sustainability. And it takes you maybe 2 or 3 minutes to do so. Therefore, you are supporting the research activity which is internally done by ERCI in order to find out what is the status of sustainability of the railway industry in Europe up to now. You will find all these links for sure also in the chat, and you will find also our contact data in the chat. You can find us for sure at LinkedIn. We have an email address, and for sure we have a web page. So let me go to the presentations, and therefore I hand over to my colleague Rico from RailS, also a member of ERCI, and Rico introduce you the both speakers.
Yeah, thank you, Lutz. Also from me, welcome to everyone to our webinar. And now I introduce our first speaker. It's Markus Sümnig from DB Systel. And inside Deutsche Bahn, Markus Sümnig pushes the boundaries for new approaches to make traveling by public transport systems even more accessibility. He founded several teams that focus on accessibility by technology inside DB Systel. So, Markus, the floor.
Yeah.
So that's my fault. Also, our second speaker, I will introduce also. It's Thomas Greichen from the company Pinpoint. And Thomas is a co-founder of Pinpoint and also one of the managing directors. And his area is his areas of responsibility includes sales and organizational management at Pinpoint. Yeah, we will start with Markus, and then afterwards Thomas will continue. So Markus, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I will also only one hint, please, if you have questions regarding both presentations, please use the chat function to indicate your questions. I will collect them, and for our Q&A session after both presentations. Markus.
Okay, yeah, thank you for having me and giving me the opportunity to share our latest innovation and product for the rail market. I try now to share my screen. I do it this way. So now you should be able to see my presentation. Is it correct?
Yeah.
Okay, looks good. Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm Markus Simnick, working for DB Systel as introduced already. I'm the project lead of an area we are focusing in the recent years more and more. And its goal is to make traveling more accessible, but not more accessible by the common part to building ramps, introducing elevators, labeling rail guards. So blind and people who are in need can find their way around in the train station. We try, as DB Systel, to make it a smart way. We, as DB Systel, are an innovation provider for the DB company. And we're usually developing software and running big software systems. So our aim is to make traveling more accessible by digital solutions. And one of our digital solutions I'm proud to show you now in a small introduction video.
Traveling by train should be possible and easy for everyone. However, finding your way around the station poses a major challenge for people with visual impairments. Tactile guide strips make orientation easier, but they do not show the direct route. Important information is only provided on blue signs, which are not accessible to visually impaired people. That is why we developed DB Effektbegleitung, a digital assistant that uses artificial intelligence to capture signs via smartphone camera and read out the specific information you are looking for. By providing the direction and platform number, you can change trains independently and continue your journey. DB Effektbegleitung can do even more. It also provides support where signs no longer offer sufficient guidance. Changed route guidance, signage, and finding buses pose an enormous challenge, especially in replacement transport, which is almost impossible for people with visual impairments to cope with without outside help. That's why DB Effektbegleitung offers the option of connecting directly with Deutsche Bahn employees and being guided safely through the station remotely. To do this, a video call is initiated and the live location is transmitted so that call center employees can safely guide the caller from the platform to the replacement transport using the transmitted camera image and live location. This gives travelers the reassuring feeling that they will receive reliable support at all times and will be safely accompanied even in unfamiliar situations or at unfamiliar stations. Both the camera image and the route appear on a map on the DB employee screen. DB employees provide information and ensure safety by using the camera image to identify signage and the spatial situation on site and compare it with the available map material. They can also draw attention to stairs and obstacles, thereby guiding the caller safely to the correct replacement bus. DB Effektbegleitung enables our blind and visually impaired passengers to travel independently and guides them safely to their destination. Let's make traveling more accessible together. If you would like to test or implement DB Effektbegleitung in your region, please get in touch.
Okay, As you now have a clue by this 120 seconds video how our idea works, maybe let you take on a journey to get a little bit deeper why we propose this digital tool to get easier around for our customers instead of what we are using at the moment. At the moment, our partners at the DB Enterprise, we have a mobility service where every traveler who needs it, who needs assistance, can in advance occupy a seat and announce their journey. And we then try to help them in person to get around to the platform inside of the train, and maybe changing also trains and also leaving the train station. This is in particular important for people with wheelchairs or other mobility issues, but not to forget people who are visually impaired or low-sighted. Those people don't usually know all train stations in Germany or where they like to go. So we need them to assist to get around, to find the correct platform and find the correct seat inside the train. That's the current way we're doing it. And we introduced DB Begleitung to, not sure why I can't write this here. Oh, sorry, I have to reshare my screen because otherwise you are not able to see everything I would show. So we then introduced DB Wegbegleitung as a digital application to show or to provide our customers a way where they can get around at the train station on their own pace and at their own timing. These are two parts. The first part is the video calling assistance. You can hit a button inside your usually used touch point to get tickets or get traveling informations. And you hit a button and then a video call is established to trained professional inside DB who helps you then to find around. Sometimes it is only to find to make a decision whether to go left or right, take the stairs or take a lift. Sometimes you maybe need information on your schedule. This is also possible via this video call. And the other part is the AI assistance. The AI assistant allows you to use the already installed infrastructure and at all train stations to read out these information on the wayfinding system inside the train station, and no further assistance by DB professionals is needed. You can read out these information where the way leads you and where to get if you follow the tactile stripes on the floor inside the train stations. This allows blind and low vision travelers to easily get around all day, even when there's no service available by the mobility service at the train station. This helps not only the travelers, but it also relieves personal staff at train stations and at days and times of the day when there's a high demand on our service we provide in person. So people who use these video call and AI assistants are on their own if they use it, and people or professional staff who is at the train station then can focus on the traveler who are really in need of this physical service. So I already talked something about why we introduced or proposed our product. Maybe zoom a little bit out and think a little bit globally, because it's not only a topic on Deutsche Bahn, it's also a topic on the whole railway sector. We try to aim on the Mobility transition, moving it from individual transportation to train, bus, or public services in general. Therefore, there's a higher demand on what's already on our tracks going on. So this will increase the amount of people who are at the train station, and this will also increase the demand on what we can serve for people like reduced mobility. They have reduced mobility. They are blind. They are low-sighted. This demand also increases when the mobility demand increases. We worked in our product development cycle on a user-centered base. So we invited a lot of people from our target group to challenge our ideas, to propose what they think they could help, they would help, and what we can do on improving their situation, on getting by their own around the train station. Digital empowerment is then truly one of our main goals at DB Systel, so that's why we proposed our app for the target group. And the demographic change hits both sides. It hits the society in total. More people get older, more older people want to get around, and with an increasing age, also the mobility decreases. So that's why we will also face a higher demand on our mobility services and also on our digital solutions. And the same situation hits our professional staff. It's harder to find employees to help and support the mobility service we provide at big train stations. So we also have to find a solution to relieve the pain at this stage. Let's focus on the barriers which are not physical, but often are invisible, and these are the information layer. That's why we developed DB Wegbegleitung. It aims on a level we can provide solutions without building ramps, building other physical improvements. We only need to provide an information layer which helps them to get around. For blind and visually impaired people, we already installed tactile paving, which allows them to navigate straight through a big train station and longer hallways. But there are few to non-information layers provided on this tactile paving. You have to know where to move left, where to move right if you want to get to a certain train station. And these information barriers are often invisible for people who can see, and that's why we want to line this out at this level. We came up with two solutions. As I already said, this video call is 100% human-based. So there's another human on the other side who can help you even in complicated solutions, in complicated situations. And we also provided AI assistance. It's 100% autonomy, 0% dependency from the customer perspective. So the customer can use it even at 3 p.m. and at night. It's no problem to read out a certain sign and get the information you need to find your exit at the train station if your train arrives late. That's the opposite of the human service. Human service, there are opening hours, and if the service is not available, you don't get help at this stage. So video assistance is an important part which addresses the needs of all ages. We provided this solution in the first place because humans or passengers in our surveys said that they want a trustworthy solution which helps them in every situation, nevertheless how complicated this situation is. to find a way out of a train station, to find their train, and to get additional information. So that's why we proposed a video call as a reliable solution for help and to lower the barrier to enter in a digital accessibility app, which can be a barrier in itself. Digital use or the use of digital tools is often a barrier for this target group because it's not so they are not so used to it. In general, for the blind people itself, you can say there's a high acceptance rate and adapted rate to use digital tools because those are their eyes to the reality. There are many good tools the community is using to improve their daily life. But the older they get, the more reluctant is to observe about not 100% trusting it. It's also part of how late in your life you are confronted with low vision or visual impairness, and therefore the connection to a human on the other side who helps you is more in demand than if you are confronted with these problems in a younger age. Another really important part of the video assistance is that we can provide it at all 5,400 train stations. No matter who operates at this train station, we can establish a video call, and no matter if we are familiar with the way guiding systems or not, we can then provide support, and the support is also not limited to certain topics. With our AI assistants, I show you in a second, we read out all the signages and provide the information which are printed on the signages. But if the customer needs information which are not printed on it, the AI can't provide it. And that's why the human in the loop is another important part for our concept. But AI is a way to go because it translates information which are already there and which can be already which are already trusted by all our passengers to get around at the train station. And we provide with our AI scans the assistance to make this information available for our blind and visually impaired customers. We scan or we trained our AI system to scan in a picture we take where's the signage and what information are presented. And the customer then can decide what information are important for them and what they want to use to get around at the train station. But not every information, and in particular at complex train station, like maybe say Berlin main station or Frankfurt main station, these are really complex buildings, and to navigate around, it's even complicated for people who are visually 100% fit. So for these situations, high precision indoor positioning would be really helpful to find your way in certain levels where public service is provided. So that's why we partnered with Pinpoint and used the ultra-wideband technology to see how we can improve indoor navigation for blind people in such complex situations. This is only one scenario we used. The main building where people arrive and people find their platform. This is a really important part, but this is not where the travel ends. Our survey showed that the navigation inside the train is also, in particular for blind people, could be challenging. And that's why an indoor, seamless indoor navigation inside your train car is also important for these target groups. For this, both building navigation and in train car navigation, we need additional information to see where is certain or where's a certain asset, where are stairs, where are ramps, where are lifts, where are certain shops where people want to go. So we need DXID and NATEX as an building format to use or to make use of this precision indoor navigation. But these informations are also needed inside the train car. Where's my seat? Where's the seat? Is the seat reserved? Is the seat already occupied but not reserved? Where are toilets? Where are other services inside your train? So these information are the base, where then on top we can use this precise indoor navigation to help people get around inside the train and outside of the train inside the building. But we have seen in our latest study together with Pinpoint in Chemnitz that it could really lift up the experience of the customers who want to get around at the train station by their own. And if you can provide this information, it's really a really better user experience for all these customers. And this is a step or the place where I want to hand over to Thomas to tell you more about the technology and how it helped us.
Perfect. Thanks, Markus. Let's start my part of the presentation. I'd like to focus more on the technology side. That means I'll give you more insights how ultra-wideband works and how in general indoor positioning systems works and how these technologies can be brought into action, like navigation for visually impaired peoples. So before I start in detail, I first like to give you a little bit, kind of a journey we made, and probably most of you already made. That means just remember 10, 20 years ago, when you are traveling to foreign places, you probably know these maps which are printed on paper. You probably also had very much trouble to find your way into a specific street of an unknown city. This is what I also faced with my parents when I was a child, and there was always this stress how to get to your destinated place. And if we look now into our actual situation, no one's practically using anymore these paper printed maps. So everyone, that's my guess, is just taking the smartphone, just typing in the desired destination. You really don't care anymore about how to get somewhere because your smartphone is just taking over. And this is not only about convenience, these global positioning systems, it's really about big markets. If you just look into just a short market summary, so there are 4.6 trillion euros of market size worldwide that is related to all of these GPS-related solutions. That's not only what you're daily using. Whole industry sectors like the agriculture is relying on global precise positioning to bring in a better automation, to bring in safety features, transparency in logistic processes, and so on. So this global positioning system really changes the way how we are using today logistic processes and everything else. So that was really a revolution. And if you now look into the interiors of buildings, I just have a photo from the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas where we exhibited. We still have the same situation as we have 20 years ago in the outdoor world. People are standing in front of these big printed out papers. They try to find their desired place. And if you just look into the emotions of the people, they simply do not have any idea how to get there. So we are now currently in a situation where still the people are knowing what's going outdoors. They're relying on their smartphones, on their digital solutions. But if they are going indoors, it's still the same story like 20 years ago. And that's where we at Pinpoint really like to change this situation. But first look into the reasons why do we still have the situation indoors? As you may know, it's a GPS. It's based on a global or global satellite system that's providing timing information for positions. These timing informations, these timing signals are not able to penetrate buildings. So that means in the moment you are entering a building, you're blocked out and you cannot use the service. And that's the reason why a need for indoor positioning technologies is here. Let me just give an overview. Current systems are using beacons or at least infrastructure for positioning. In the past years, Wi-Fi was very popular. That means many of these public buildings, airports, train stations, trade shows, and so on, already having a Wi-Fi infrastructure for communication purposes. And the idea is to reuse this infrastructure also for positioning. Wi-Fi, for instance, in this situation, smartphones are listening to the Wi-Fi signals or they are self-broadcasting an identifier where you can read out the positions of the access points and then can estimate your own position. I come later to this point, but I can already say to you that's not really accurate, and also it's not really able to give you real-time feedback on your own position. So the next idea was to establish Bluetooth beacons. Bluetooth beacons are just these tiny units, often battery powered. You deploy them in the building. They are just broadcasting a kind of a short ping with an identifier, also often with their own position. Smartphones are able to receive the signal. So they get the identifier, the coordinates, and they get the signal strength of these beacons. And then they are calculating their own position. Again, this system is based on signal strength. That means it's still very inaccurate because if you are changing your environment, you're just placing a new drywall or you're moving your furniture and so on. It's really disturbing your digital fingerprint, so the signal strength map of your building. And then, of course, it's very hard to calculate an accurate position that is reliable over the whole time you're using your system. Yeah, and another approach, it's also very popular on the market. It's using the geomagnetic signature of buildings. That means also smartphones can use the magnetometer to use to evaluate the geomagnetic field of the Earth. You have a kind of a fingerprinted map of your building, and then you even do not need to use additional infrastructure. You can just do your positioning. This approach, it's very popular because you do not need infrastructure. But again, this approach has a lot of drawbacks because this field can also change in independence of your interiors of the building. And then you have to do the fingerprinting again, and your running costs are simply very high. So let's summarize the most important, in my perspective, the most important technologies so far for indoor positioning. We have, or I like to emphasize on 3 criteria. Accuracy, that's very important for such use cases like the navigation of visually impaired people. So you need to provide a very accurate position so that a person can rely on this. Latency, that means how fast and how timing accurate is your position. So is there a delay between your actual position and the calculated position? And the scalability. Scalability means in this term, how many users can you provide with the positioning information? Just imagine you're in an airport or in a train station where hundreds of people like to use the positioning information, then your system should be capable to provide the positioning results. So,
Thomas, may I interrupt you? I see that your presentation is not shared anymore.
Then it was. Let's do this again. Hopefully it's back.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So let's look into this. Ultra-wideband have an accuracy of up to centimeter area, so you can be very, very accurate. Bluetooth and Wi-Fi accurate, depending on the infrastructure you invest of practically 3 to 5 meters. Latency, ultra-wideband can be providing the position information very, very fast so that you have a real-time positioning. And of course, you can provide positioning information in a practical, unlimited way. And this is where I really like to direct to ultra-wideband, to a specific mode of ultra-wideband. Ultra-wideband you may know also from Apple's AirTag for this ranging mode, where you can really find your devices. But there's another mode, it's called ultra-wideband downlink TDOA. That means downlink time difference of arrival. This principle or the base of this is the same as GPS is using. You're providing with your infrastructure timing information. Your handheld device, smartphone, or anything else can receive the signals and can calculate the position directly on the device. So this is really an advantage, because in this moment, you really have only a kind of a reception mode on your handheld device. You do not need to have a backlink to the cloud where you have any location engine or location calculation. That means you, in this term, the infrastructure efforts, placing these beacons, is very easy. You just have to provide positions, they have to synchronize and so on, but there's no additional cloud infrastructure necessary to establish such kind of a system. And this on-device positioning has also much advantages. It's practically scales indefinitely in terms of your positioning devices, because your handheld devices, the smartphones, are not broadcasting anything. They are just listening. So the only devices that are broadcasting information are the beacons. And of course, the system is private. So the device is calculating its position on the device, and it's not sharing by default this position. So the user can privately use this positioning. And a third advantage is that you, on the device where you already have, or where you're already doing the positioning, you can also fuse other technologies into your positioning. That means smartphones have today accelerometers, gyroscopes, magnetometers, step detectors, and so on. And all these information you can fuse into the central positioning engine to improve accuracy and also reliability when, for instance, the ultra-wideband system is disturbed for some reason. And this is the third thing that's really important regarding use cases is there is a strong industry standardization, though there are different industry organizations in the background. One is FIRA, where we as Pinpoint are also a member, and they are pushing this profile called untracked navigation, so that you can use your smartphone and with its ultra-wideband unit to do this GPS-like indoor positioning. And the other good message is this is also available right now with Apple iOS 26.1. So you can use on iPhones with or from iPhone 12 and newer, you have this ultra-wideband module in and can use it for these GPS-like positioning. I'd like also to give you some more insights into what's happening in the industry. So which standards are playing a major role and who's playing in there. So industry standard, I already mentioned FIRA. So we, of course, as Pinpoint, using the standard and driving the standard to have this infrastructure, but we are not alone. So in the past months, Cisco and Juniper as big access point manufacturers are also integrated ultra-wideband according to the FIRA standards to provide also this positioning features to end-user devices. But there are still ultra-wideband. It's not only focused on this positioning mode, it's also focused on access control. So there's another standard, it's called Alero. So the newer smart locks you have in your smart home or also in corporate buildings are using the standard where your phone can be your key for hands-free access control. And the third standard, it's the Car Connectivity Consortium. This is where the car manufacturers and car suppliers are using ultra-wideband also for access control, opening of their cars. So you can also digitize your keys. in your smartphones and can open your car securely with ultra-wideband. And on the user side, that's mostly important. Apple and Google are driving these standards to establish all these use cases. So I already mentioned Apple has already launched it on this GPS-like feature with iOS 26.1. Google will follow very soon. And Google has also Samsung, Xiaomi, Huawei, all the major players in the smartphone market already implemented and integrated ultra-wideband modules so that they can provide all these features I mentioned here on the left-hand side. Yeah, so that's the general view on the market. Now, attention, please. It's just a kind of an advertisement from Pinpoint. What are we doing? We are providing also these building infrastructure. We are calling them satellites. These are tiny building satellites that are providing the signals. From our side, we also provide tools, software tools for setting up these systems to deploy them, monitor it. So you can load a floor plan in it, for instance, from a train station, set up all these satellites, and then we are providing SDKs. That means software development kits. It's a tiny piece of software that, for instance, the DB Systel integrated into their Wegbekleidung app to enable this indoor positioning. So, and now I'd like to give you some insights how we set up the project with DB Systel. So at a train station, it was made in Chemnitz. You see on the left-hand side, so this kind of the entry hall. You see also these tactile pavements. This is what visually impaired people are using normally for their orientation in buildings. And on the right-hand side, you see our planning tool where we have these orange dots. This is the position of these building satellites we deployed. And there we had the use case and the insights where we provide the navigation from different platforms, level changes. So you're moving across the platform, going down to some underground floorway and rising again to get to your desired pavements. And just some insights from our side. What were the challenges in this project? The challenges, as you may know, is always about the digital maps. So that means the digital representation of your building, because this is really the point where a system, where a positioning system gets connected to a good navigation experience. So what are the challenges? First, you may know this is the availability of floor plans regarding different criteria. So first, a floor plan needs to be updated. Maps are aging. That means if a map is, for instance, 5 or 6 years old or even 1 year, probably your interior already changed. So there are, for instance, new tactile pavements here, or a wall, a tri-wall was replaced. So you really rely, if you want to have a good navigation experience for your users, you rely on good maps.
Oh, yes.
Also, sorry?
The sharing is back. Good.
Yeah. My computer is, I don't know, it's just stopping the presentation and I have to restart this. Other point is accuracy of the floor plans. So if you want to set up a precise positioning system, you also rely on a precise map. So it needs to be accurate. And of course, it needs to be complete. So if you like to have a kind of a navigation for visually impaired people, they still want to use this tactile pavement as an additional orientation source. And so we also had to add this tactile pavements to the maps so that we can build up a good navigation experience here. And of course, that's some detail in this project. We relied on OpenStreetMap maps. And so we first also mapped this in the OpenStreetMap, brought in the precision of the map, the accuracy. And of course, we needed to map the floor plan. So a floor plan is usually made on a local coordinate system, in a metric coordinate system. We have to really fit this into the world. That means in the end, the map data is available in latitudes and longitudes of world coordinate systems. to have a seamless experience. If you move from outdoor environments, have a kind of an outdoor navigation to the building, you want to go seamlessly into the building and have a kind of, not having a kind of a handover, but really a seamless, positioning and navigation experience here. Yeah, how does it look? Markus already showed something. So this is the kind of the engineering UI, because visually impaired people cannot see this UI. You see these building information mapped into an iOS app. You see also the orange dot that is provided by Pinpoint, by the positioning system. And in the background, so practically, you have a kind of a voiceover. This is also still for evaluation purpose, the UI. But in the end, you have a kind of an audio feedback. You have, for instance, some AirPods or earpods in your ears and get the audio information for the guiding. And that's basically what we did so far and evaluated. I just want to also remind on the use cases Markus presented at the end of his presentation. We also had with Deutsche Bahn a POC where we deployed our positioning satellites here in an ICE. So we had also the positioning within a train to provide a seamless navigation, not only to the train, but really to the entry, to the correct entry of a train, and then to your, for instance, reserved seat, so that you have a real end-to-end navigation experience when you are traveling by train. That's just an outlook. What we can also do with our offering from Pinpoint is not only positioning smartphones. We also have had with Deutsche Bahn a project where we provided ultra-wideband for indoor positioning of trains. The main use case of this is in maintenance, where the trains need to be localized for future autonomous driving use cases. That's just an outlook, and I'm already at the end of my presentation. Also at this moment, I'd like to thanks to Markus for the very good use case, where we showcased and where we showed how ultra-wideband can really improve the experience of traveling, not only for visually impaired people, but for every one of us, because I'm really convinced that navigation, if you are at a foreign train station or on an airport or somewhere else where orientation and navigation is really troubling you, that these solutions can really improve the daily life and our own orientation. So thank you. And I'm very open for questions. And thanks also Lutz and Rico for giving the opportunity for presenting here.
Yeah, thank you, Markus. Thank you, Thomas, and thanks to the Webig Forum in Berlin. This webinar has been finally created. And yes, I already collected some questions from the chat, and we had also some pre-prepared questions. And please continue to use the chat for your questions. And as soon both guys are answering, I can put new questions into the slide. Starting with the first one, how do you prevent people from stumbling upon luggage?
Yeah, thank you for this question. People by their own try to prevent stumbling upon luggage. They have their blind man stick. That's the way, without all our digital tools around, they try not to bump into other people or run into closed doors. That's how they use it to navigate obstacles. And our tool is only an assistant tool which helps to gather information, to get around, to find your right directions, but not to avoid stumbling upon luggage or other stuff which maybe is in your way.
Yeah, the second question, how can 100% visually impaired people use an app when they are actually 100% visually impaired? That means blind.
Yeah, it's also a really good question, and it's tricky to answer if you don't have a chance to meet people who are 100% visually impaired and use their smartphone in a speed you never see or saw before. All major platforms, Android and iOS, provide inbuilt tooling, so blind and visually impaired people can navigate through all their apps, write short messages, take pictures, and use AI to get a clue what's around there or them. So we rely on these fundamentals the major platform provider provide, and integrated our app 100% in these tool chain. So the integrated tooling can read out what's shown on what's displayed on the screen, and what we detect. Thomas already showed one or two pictures. I neglected this for this presentation, but you have to imagine we prepared our generated output. Let's say we scanned a photo of a wayfinding table. It is scanned. It is then translated by our AI to a text representation, and then we can read out this text presentation. But it's not only an OCR scan, which you may be already familiar from certain corporate tools. It's an AI which is trained to read out, okay, what pictogram is on this picture, what is the meaning of the pictogram, and how it is related to the writing on the table itself. So pictogram exit main square, and an arrow pointing to the left is directly translated to, okay, you can go to the left and exit to the main square. And this is how we work, or how we found out a solution which works for people which are 100% blind to use this app and make use of the information we provide them.
Yeah, thank you. How did your participants perceive the experience? Would they solely rely on a technical solution for their guidance?
During our several studies we already did, we got different feedback from people who are 100% blind from their birth on or from early childhood, and they got a good education to deal with this blindness in a world which is not prepared for being blind. They feedbacked us that the tool is hard to use, and they need further training because it's a complex matter to take a picture when you are blind and you have to point in the right direction, right? But we figured out certain tactics, how to make this training really easy for this target group, and also how to communicate if you take a picture. If you point on the bottom, you get a communication. Don't point at the bottom, point on a higher level. We also built in an automatic way that people don't have to hit the trigger button. Instead of an automatic method is in place to take a picture and provide only the result. So yeah, this is for 100% blind people. And on the other spectrum, on the other side of the spectrum, there are people who got visually impaired or close to blindness over their lifetime. And they said it's a really, really helpful tool because they know, they are familiar that there are that there's a wayfinding system at a station. They are familiar with the layout of a common train station, so they can use it as a binocular glass or as a tool to make visible what they are not 100% sure, but what they believe that there is an information. So if you see a dark plate in front of a white and bright window, they know, okay, there could be further guidance information, and they use this tool to receive these informations from these from this place. So different groups with different disabilities use it in a different way, but we all over the place or from all over the board, we got really positive feedback that this is a tool and a tool chain which allows people to get on the train by their own and get around, specifically in unfamiliar train stations. And they really said they would use it, and that would increase their likelihood to travel alone instead of needing assistance, whether professional staff from DB or personal assistance by family members or friends.
Yeah, next question. What was their experience while using their smartphone for guidance? Would they need something else?
Most of our participants said they need more time to get used to it. So we usually haven't so much time to train the user group, but they said if they had several hours to play around to get used to how the application works, they wouldn't need any further things instead of this tool and the chance to use it in real life.
Yeah, next question. DB system, the DB system is in German, or is it automatically translated in other languages for foreign passengers?
At the moment, our application works in a German language, but it's designed to be translated into other languages. That's for sure. The main wayfinding system in our train stations usually don't rely on German language. There are so many pictograms, so many numbers and only letters, which really easily translate in your mother tongue. But in case you need a translation, we also built a proof of concept where we translated our writing system into Ukrainian language, and this really easily worked out and could be a really good use case to people to translate a writing system which they are not familiar. Ukraine, when we run this prototype, were one of these systems, and all people we ask were really delighted by it. Yeah, it easily works with other languages. In particular, the app can be easily translated.
Yeah, for sure. That we are living in Europe, and Europe has different languages, and for sure, as for future development of the railway system, we have to think European for sure. So the translation issue might have sense. Next question regarding the AI assistants. Are there any hints for blind passengers that help them to find the blue signs? Like, when does it make sense to pull out the phone, or in which direction should I point the phone?
Yeah, it's also a good question, and this question really comes really often. So our next presentation will maybe have a dedicated slide to it. If you see at a train station, there's a tactile paving where people can use their blindman stick to get us straight through a long hall. In particular, in Chemnitz, this is the case. And at intersections where you can, whether decide go straight, move left or right, there's a different tactile paving plate, which then if you run over with your blindman stick, you really feel, okay, here's something different. And then you have to stop there, use your phone, and scan these wayfinding plates which are around you. Because usually at these ways where you have to decide going left or right, there are also for people with vision informations and clues where they get on the left or on the right. So that's one good one good way to get an idea when to use your app to scan the surrounding. And that is also what the community told us, that we should implement a hint on these tactile paving. People should move out their phone and get and try to find the information they need.
Yeah. Next question seems to be simple and may asked by me too. For what DXID stands?
Yeah, it's really simple. The X is a placeholder, and it stands or the D is Deutsches.
German. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a German short term for Deutsche Haltestellen ID. Or the X is then replaced by Haltestelle or station, and it's an unique identifier for any train station.
Yeah.
In
Train station
comparison,
ID.
there's also the Deutsche Infrastructure ID. This is a unique identifier for every pole in the train station, for every important asset run by the operator. So the X is only a placeholder for these two types of IDs.
Is there only one DXID for each stations, or are there different ones? Maybe if you have a complex station like Berlin Central Station.
Yeah, that's correct. But it's at least it's unique. You don't have to differentiate it by its name. There's an ID for a certain station, and if there's a substation, there's another ID, and you can see at looking at the ID at which station you are.
Next question, will the system also be extended to include personal PIS? For instance, will the system inform a user when that user should leave the train?
We already provide those informations, but maybe not on a second or minute basis. But if you a user of the DB Navigator and you subscribe to a certain route, you then get the information. Okay, your train will arrive at the train station. You can now leave. For these further informations, okay, you have to leave on your left, or you have to head straight to the next car. That's where the technology by pinpoint comes in place. But because you know then where in the train car you are located and what's the closest exit to your seat at the moment. So this is definitely a use case which could be built, but therefore we need different technology inside the train cars.
Yeah. We have some more questions on the next slide. How many phone brands can DB supports currently? Are any special requirements for the phones?
For our technology, this video call and the AI assistants, we need maybe maximum 5 years old iPhone, and the same goes with Android. So it has to be quite modern, but not the brand new from the store. So 5 years is a good time where we can run it. Brands, all brands are supported where these modern Android and iOS operating systems are capable to run.
Yeah. Next question, how GDPR aspects are managed?
If it's one topic we hit really deep, it's GDPR. We are 100% aware of maybe issues or topics are brought up by customers or the public. All things are tackled. We anonymize plenty of our data material. We never store certain material which we captured long term. So all topics are already addressed if you want to use it in a GDPR area.
Next question, one person asks, I suppose the satellites need power supply. Is it really installable in an ICE train? Vehicles must be recertified for this? Question mark.
So what did we do at this one? Yes, first, yes, these units need power supply, but DB wanted to evaluate the technology within trains. And for a long-term or for a mid-term perspective, this technology can be a kind of a standard equipment like Wi-Fi in a train. So this POC or this first project evaluated the technology. and had some kind of as a result some documents where, for instance, DB can go to their vehicle suppliers to put this onto the list. Okay, that's it. Markus, you raised your hand.
I'm not the hardware guy, so I can't put further information on this. But what you said, it's the best way to do it.
So we have here a last question. Is there a standard for describing debt plans or what vehicle vehicles? And
I'm not sure. Is it about the floor plan of a train? Is this the question? I don't know.
I interpreted it that way.
Okay. So what we did at this place is like you have a floor plan for a building. There's a detailed planning also for wagons available, and based on this plan, you can also do a kind of this navigation and positioning planning. So in the end, it's just an own floor plan for wagons, similar to buildings.
Sorry for the interruption. I've pushed the wrong button and then I was out of the session, but now I'm back. That was the last question so far. Maybe there are some other questions. We have some minutes left that we can use. You might simply raise your hand and open your micro and raise a question if you want. I wait for some seconds. So it seems to be the case that there are no other questions so far. Am I right? Then I have to thank you all for your questions and both presenters from the interesting presentations and interesting answers to the questions. And then I will hand over to our next point, and this is called some information from the ERCI network. Before doing so, I kindly ask you all to fill in a very short feedback questionnaire to answer give some your evaluation on the presentations and on the organization of the webinar, and what is the most important, the future ideas, your ideas for future ERCI webinars, topics. Maybe you are also ready to present your innovative solution. Please let us know. Also through these questionnaire, then we can plan our future webinar series. Coming to that, I want to show you that each ERCI webinar is recorded and will be visible on the YouTube channel of the former STARS project, which is still active, and it will take a few days, and then I guess that the recording of this webinar would be available too. Then the next ERCI webinar is on human factor and rail. We will have two interesting presentations, and please attention, not in 4 weeks, but already in 2 weeks on the 26th of November. There is already available the registration link, which you will also find in the chat. And we have also another webinar this year. It is on using AI again, for improving services in public transport. It will be on the 10th of December. And also for that webinar, the registration link is already open and you might register for that. So then, events. What are events? an event, our yearly event are the ERCI Innovation Awards, and you will see here on this slide a picture from the last awarding ceremony that took place in Milano during the Expo Ferroviaria. It was the 11th ERCI Innovation Awards, and our three winners, Best Large Enterprise, Took Rail from Belgium, Best Small Medium-Sized Enterprise, Composite Trading from the United Kingdom, and the Coup de Coeur Jury Prize was awarded to LAT Group in Germany. And for sure, we are planning also to have the ERCI Innovation Awards in 2026. It is a two-stage approach. First stage is a national or regional level. That means you can applicate at your regional ERCI member cluster, and these all the member clusters, all the 18s, have the chance to nominate 3 of their best applications to the European contest. That is the second stage. And then the jury starts to evaluate, and after evaluating, we will have 3 winners, and the awarding ceremony will be, as every 2 years, during the Innotrans between the 22nd and the 25th of September. You will find some current information on this innovation awarding contest at the ERCI webpage. Normally, the national or regional applications start very soon by the ERCI member clusters, and yeah, maybe you might contact them directly or see what is written at the ERCI webpage. So, funding opportunities, we have prepared 3 slides. There is one on the ongoing call for proposals for the Europe's Rail joint undertaking. There was a Europe's Rail Info Day on the 10th of October. The link will be in the chat, and there are some open topics regarding some flagship areas. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 topics, and additional 4 topics for exploratory research activities. Next slide is on Horizon Europe. The most interesting topics you can find in the working program of Cluster 5, Climate, Energy and Mobility. We only mentioned some of the ongoing topics, open call topics for Cluster 5 here. These are 4 topics with a deadline all of 20th January 2026. 3 of them are innovation actions. That means up to 70% funding for companies, for businesses, up to 100% funding for research institutions. And 1 is a CSA, and coordinating support activity means 100%, up to 100% funding. Then for sure, I want to raise your interest to ESA calls. That means also the European Space Agency has some interesting calls for the railway sector, Space for Rail. That is a call that is now open until the end of the year, but we are also expecting to have a similar call also for the next year. The activities you can apply for are feasibility studies and demonstration projects. So some projects. For the projects, I will hand over to my colleague Guido Alcarani from DTEC Fair, our Italian member cluster of ERCI, and Guido is also the operations director in the board of directors of ERCI. Guido.
Thank you very much, Lutz. I will try to run a little bit about 2 European projects. The first one is called the Leader 2030. It's a It's a project funded by Europe's Rail with the aim of strengthening the resilience of European supply chain for raw material in the railway sectors. It's a project coordinated by ERCI, and you see on the left-hand side the four members, the four partners of this project. ERCI, JKZ is the cluster in Dresden, Railenium is the rail research and innovation center in France, in Valenciennes, and Technopark Istanbul in Turkey. What we are doing is to define which could be the risk of not being able to implement the research and development project, which are currently on the work in Europe's rail in the different flagship areas, because of lack of raw material, because of lack in the future in 2030 and the years after with electronic device. So we try to put all this in evidence in this project, which will end at the end of this year or some months later. Please, Lutz, you see the project news and the connection here, and they will be also in the chat. Lutz, next slide. Yes, thank you. I would like just to underline what we have been able to provide in this month, last month, concerning this project. We have built an innovation train, means that we have organized a travel from Florence in Italy through the base tunnel, Brenner-based tunnel, and Munich, in order to arrive at the end after 2 days of traveling to Dresden, where we had our conference concerning this project, Leader 2030. We have been able to organize this visit to the Brenner-based tunnel and the X-FAB plant for visiting this semiconductor company in order to have a global view for the participant to this travel, to show what is the actual situation and what can be the elements that have to be highlighted at European level in order to cover those aspects in the near future. I just put here two LinkedIn links in order that you can appreciate more details of what has been done and the level of what a European project can deliver to the community. Next slide, please. The next project, the second project, is called Idealist, is helping SMEs in tackling supply chain disruption and boosting advanced technologies, so AI, machine learning, IoT, cybersecurity, big data, and the list has been established by the European Commission. We are a consortium of 14 partners, and we try to give some element. Try means we are developing tools that we are sharing with all the partners and the European community, especially for SMEs. You see again here the links to the project and the website and the LinkedIn page. It's still ongoing for 1 year. And I would like, please, Lutz, next slide, just to highlight one of the tools that we have in developing this project, which is called LEX, Learning Expedition. We have 5 LEX in our plan. We still have one which is scheduled in June in Nantes. And in Nantes, the LEX number 5 will be on additive manufacturing and hybrid processes. So I invite you to use the hyperlink that you find in the chat to go more in depth, or to come back to us, to me, to Lutz, to the ERCI organization of this webinar, in order to have more details and use this opportunity. Just to put some cherry on the cake, there are also vouchers. So part of the expenses are funded for SMEs in terms of LEX participation. This is what I have to say on those two projects, and hope that this is interesting also for you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Guido. I put in the chat the two links for getting newsletters on both projects, and for sure free of charge. So you are able to follow both projects, and I guess from time to time ERCI engage by itself to be a part of project, and in other times some active ERCI member clusters are part of European projects as well. So coming again to our next ERCI webinars, we have two ERCI webinars in this year. The topic, the human factor in rail, is on 26th of November this year. Registration link is available, as well as the ERCI webinar on 10th of December on using AI for improving services in public transport. This is also available, and you can or you are already able to register. We've tested it right yesterday. It functions, and for sure the participation registration is as ever free of charge. So thank you very much for your attention, and you would help us very much to improve our webinar series by answering our short questionnaire. It takes maximum 5 minutes, I would say. And thank you very much, and see you soon. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.